Hello and happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome to another gratitude session today. I am just going to take a moment here to invite a few special people because this particular gratitude session was inspired from my talks and connecting with a lot of souls from yesterday. So just give me one moment while I take a second to invite some very amazing and special people. But I hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday so far. It's a nice day here in NYC, out here in Brooklyn. So just give me one second. There we go. There. Um, so, there we are. Hello. Oh, Mel, you're here. You're watching. It's like the first one you've watched in a long time. Hello, Alina. Thank you guys for. I know it's been a long time, right? Mel, I think this is your first live with me. So anyway, today's topic, grief or grieving, was inspired by yesterday's psychic fair that I went to at the Edgar Casey Center. So those of you that don't know, psychic fair is when practitioners like myself, is a psychic medium. I sit down and do many readings for people. And yesterday the theme was there was a lot of people coming in wanting to deal with grief and how to move forward with grief. So today, I had a whole nother topic in my head, but that really inspired me for today. I really have to really was inspired by that. So I'm going to read an excerpt from my book, Awaken with Gratitude, to get things started off, to get things going, to really pick up the momentum, and then we're just going to move in from there. How to move forward and how to release grief, because grief is more than what we think it is. It's a lot more than what we perceive it to be. But here we go, an excerpt from my book, Awaken with Gratitude, about grieving. Most people associate grieving with the loss of a loved one or someone dear to their heart. What grieving really is, what grieving really is, though, is the loss of emotional baggage or attachment. This grieving process can happen at any time, not necessarily due to the passing of someone or the loss of a favorite material possession. Grieving can happen when we become more accepting of our own self. This is when we begin to let go of what we thought was us. So that's just a brief excerpt from that. So today, in the thought of grieving, I want to hear from you guys if you guys had grief and how you dealt with it. And I'm going to address concerns and questions as we move through this topic. But as I just mentioned, grieving is more than just us losing someone or losing their favorite material possession. Grieving is allowing forgiveness and forgiving ourselves in the process of forgiveness, because that's what grieving really is. It's the process of forgiveness, because there were a few people yesterday that were grieving, but they didn't know how to let go, and they were holding on to so much. They were holding on to memory, they were holding on to an item, they were holding on to the emotions that they attach to the individual. But we have to remember that when someone makes their transition, or when we have a loss of any kind, it is that, especially when it comes to an individual, it is not the energy, it is not the energy of that person that we lost, because the energy has changed. Just the idea of them that we lose the connection with. It is the idea who we think they are, and knowing that they have transitioned, that they have transferred their energy into something even greater than we can physically imagine. So that energy allows us to simply be who we are. And so now, with the process of understanding who they are, we can step into the role of forgiveness, of forgiving ourselves. Because that's what essentially grieving is. It's the process of forgiving ourselves. Forgiving ourselves for not having a lasting moment with that person, forgiveness of who we are as an individual, forgiveness of what emotions that we truly have attached ourselves to in that moment in connection with that person, and what it is that we truly lost in that moment. And when we think of grief, when we think of the process of grieving, we tend to allow ourselves not to tap into ourselves. We always look to the external and think, oh, I lost this person and they meant the world to me and I don't know how to move forward. Right? That's how many of us feel. So I know Mel, you're watching, Alina, you're watching, a few other people I know that you guys are hanging out with me. So I want to hear some of your stories about grief and how you dealt with it, because, the subject of grief is not one that is so readily talked about because of the emotional impact that it may have on someone else, or the lack of emotional impact that we are yet to deal with. Because grief is more than just the emotions, it's the acceptance of what is to come after that. So, the process of grief, and actually, I'm going to give two examples here. Two examples from my own life is the expectance of grief and how to deal with it. And those that know me personally know that last year I lost both my mom and my aunt about 2.5 months apart from one another. And I am being shown to give this as an example because it's the only way that some of us will be able to understand how to deal with grief and how to let it go and how to move forward. So with my aunt, she was ill for quite some time. And it was expected that, any month from the time she was diagnosed with her illness that she would make her transition. And so it was expected. So it was expected of her passing. And we all dealt with it in many a different way. But for me personally, it was easier on my soul because I spent times with her. I talked to her often, and we had understanding, her and I, of what would happen and how things would go if, when she made her transition. And when she finally made her transition, I found myself more at peace and at ease because I knew where she was. I knew of her greater sense of peace. I knew of her greater sense of love. I knew of her greater sense of joy and passion in the place that she is at now and presently. And even to this day, we still communicate. And even though I knew of her passing and of her transition, it made it easier for me to step into that role of moving forward in love and enjoying happiness. And there wasn't much to forgive because we already had an understanding, we already had a joy, we already had a peace about all that was there, right? It was beautiful and joyous to feel and to know that my aunt was okay, that my aunt was happy. And now, seeing my mom in a place of depression and not knowing how to move forward from the loss of her sister, that my mom stayed in this place, but she made herself get out. She made herself go out and do things. She dealt with the loss of her sister differently by being active and not dealing with her emotions. And when she did, she just allowed her energy to come and just to deal with it and to be with it. And that's what I say to most of you now, is that if you're in a place of grief and not knowing how to accept it and move on with the emotion of love and joy and happiness, look within yourself. Look to see why you're in a place of not accepting the loss of someone. Or was it because of how close you guys were? And if you guys were close, understand that that person is always with you, that that person is always there, that they will never leave your side. I mean, people are out there that show you signs. They connect with you, and the best way that they know that they can connect with you. So know that, whoever you have lost is there, and they are holding you in love and in joy and peace and in happiness. And now, when it came with the loss of my mom, when my mom made her transition shortly after her sister, it was unexpected, and I had to deal with it in a different way because it was such an unexpected energy in a place and where I was in my life. And I can thank my aunt because she helped better prepare me for this with her passing, with her transition. And with the unexpected loss of my mom, being her only child and caring for her the way that I knew how, it was draining on my soul in a way that I haven't felt before. It was like I don't want to say it was like a piece of me that was gone, but it was a piece of me that kind of expanded in a way, in the understanding of where we go and where we are and what we do as an individual on the soul level. So our soul isn't necessarily lost. Our soul is seeking for understanding when we go to a place of grief, when we go to a place of loss. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about as well, is the process of understanding is as it comes up for me here in this moment, which I don't ever think I talked about before. And the moment that rang true is I was in Chicago in the hospital by my mom's bedside, and I was making the choice, to come back home or to stay in Chicago. And after, communicating with the doctors and communing with myself, I made the choice to come home because there was nothing more that I can do. So be there for my mom supportively through my energy. And I knew that I can support my mom with my energy anywhere. And with the acceptance of what is happening, because I stood over my mom as I made my choice and I said, Mom, if you are going to stay, you have a lot of work to do to stay. But if you are willing to go, I accept your choice to go. And it was over the weekend. It was 2 days later to where I found my mom. Well, not found her, but got a call from the hospital, and they told me that my mom wasn't doing well, and I had to make the choice to say, do I want them to resuscitate, or do I not want them to resuscitate? And yet again, faced with another choice, had to go inside to figure out what it is that I really wanted to do. And listening, I told the doctors not to resuscitate because I feel like her quality of life wouldn't be the same if she was. And so it was another choice of understanding of where I was and what I had to do in that moment. And it was coming to grips with the loss of knowing that I wouldn't have my mom here physically anymore, but I was some level I was okay with that, only because I knew that I would have her closer to me than she ever was before. with the acceptance of that process and processing my feelings, processing my emotions, processing everything that I've come to understand about, death, because that was always a great fear of mine, was always being afraid to die. As much as all of us are, most of us are afraid to die. Most of us are afraid to uh, make that transition, to make that jump into the next life, because we don't know what's there. We don't know what is waiting for us. But I can tell you that it is a place of magic. It is a place of love, joy, happiness, a place of peace. Only because I have people told me it is so. Only because I have people who've told me that it's so. Thank you, Carrie. Because Carrie, you know about what I can do. Um, because I'm able to connect with family and friends on the other side. And, through communicating with them, they tell me these things. They show me what they are experiencing, and it's beautiful. But going back on topic, because, I can go off topic and talk for days and eons and what have you. But I just wanted to go back to understanding the process, because the process that we choose to understand is the process we have to make peace with ourselves, knowing that the soul chooses to go when it chooses to go. There are instances that we create in our life, here, now, and forever. Experiences that only we can experience here physically. And when we're tired, we're tired. And when we learned what we needed to learn, we can go back and share our experiences with other people. This is why, we tend to connect with spirit, because they show us things that they know and they share with us so we can do better. And that's part of the cycle, part of the process of understanding why souls move on, souls move forward, and souls do what they do, because they share this wealth of information and this knowledge as I am with you right now. And as a being, here, experiencing life and understanding the process, because that's what it is. It's all it is a cyclical process of understanding and how to move forward and to release what we don't need to. It's a process of us releasing what no longer serves us. And now, with us understanding the process, we are here now and present. But before I move forward, Megan, thank you for watching. I miss your beautiful face, your energy. Harriet, hello. So are you guys, are we on the same page? Are we here? Are we present? Are we attuned? Are we in alignment with what's going on here? And I want to hear from you guys if you guys have any questions about grief and how to move forward, how to move past it, and how to truly understand it and be with it. Because as I stated earlier, grief is the acceptance of letting go. It's acceptance of moving forward. Grief is the energy that we release that no longer serves us. It's the forgiveness that we have for self. And for example, going to the physical plane, the physical possessions. For example, let's say, has anyone, and I want to hear from you all, has anyone here lost something of sentimental value? You can just type Y for yes, N for no, to make it simple. And if you have lost something of sentimental value, I want to know, how did it make you guys feel? Because when we lose something of sentimental value, we still go through a process of grief, because it holds meaning for us. And that's what the grieving process is. It is understanding why we have lost something that meant so much to us. And we beat ourselves up over and over and over again, in the process of understanding, why did I lose it? Why did it let go? Why did we release it? It is only because we have to find forgiveness within us. And so we have to allow ourselves to forgive ourselves. So, Harriet, I know you haven't lost anything. Jeanette, hello. Mel, yes, thank you for the love. So, for those of you that have not expressed that you've lost anything of value, you have to really dig within yourself to think, okay, was something important enough to me where I could let it go? And when we look inside, all of us has lost something, whether if it was a sense of self, or if it was a physical possession, or if it was a person. And no matter the way in which we have lost something, it has opened up a place of grief for us. And this place of grief allows for us to go outside ourselves and seek forgiveness. But why do we seek forgiveness? That's the bigger question here. Why do we honestly look and seek for forgiveness when we have lost something? And I want to hear from you guys. What are some of your ideas and why you feel that we have lost something or seek forgiveness when something is lost? Do you feel it is because out of necessity? Is it because you're following your intuition? Is it simply because you want to keep in touch with something, or you want something replaced? So I want to hear from you guys. What are some of the reasons why you feel that you have lost something? And our purpose of grief is not to, hold on and to hold on so tight that we won't let it go. It's the acceptance and the understanding of which we allow our soul to be at ease, to be at peace, and to be at joy. So that's the main reason why we experience what we experience. And our connection to source, our connection to ourselves, that is what's important. That is what matters the most, right? That is what matters the most, our connection to self. And in this level of forgiveness that we allow ourselves, because we have to allow ourselves to grow in forgiveness. It was our place to allow our joys, our place to allow our pieces, our place to allow all this wonderful goodness to come into our lives. So yeah, I felt it was my fault. And so Jeanette, I think you were trying to finish a thought. So if you can go back in and if you can finish that thought for me, because I kind of get it, but kind of don't understand. So yes, I want you guys to really know and feel that this level of forgiveness and joy that we have for ourselves has to start within us. It has to begin with who we are as a person, and that's why the next step in the grieving process, go from grieving to understanding why things happen, and then accepting, and then going into the forgiveness, because that's where it really lies. Forgiveness within ourselves, and knowing that whatever happens is not your fault. Knowing that whatever takes place, whatever transpires, is not your fault. And that's what I want you guys to understand, that in the process of grieving, most of us blame ourselves. We blame ourselves for what happened. We blame ourselves for the things that transpired, but it's not our fault. What I want you guys to truly understand, that when it comes to soul energy, when it comes to life, when it comes to all that is in existence, everything has its own consciousness. Everything has its own consciousness, and it has its power to make up its mind, whether if it's a person, place, object, whatever. It holds a special consciousness, and with that, you can hone into that. You can communicate with it because of its own consciousness. And with that consciousness, it speaks to you, it guides you, it helps you, it assists you in every area of your life. And now, when you have received the lesson or the energy from that which you hold, it releases itself from you. And so inherently you make the choice, you make the decision unconsciously, something that you are not aware of, or the object makes the choice for you. It's like, okay, we've done all that we can do here together, and now it's time for me to do the work somewhere else. So in that process of understanding and forgiveness and letting go, we as a being come together and we work together. We harmonize in the next step in the process of allowing to release to welcome into the next steps. So yeah, so there are a few comments, and let me go back here and read them. Yes, and Jeanette, that's amazing. I'm seeing that you're taking the steps now. I'm happy that you accept and acknowledge it. So now it's like for you to, if you've made peace with that, if you've made happiness and joy with all that has happened, that it has transpired since then, because it's all about the choices that we make and how to grow ourselves individually, and not only to forgive ourselves, because forgiveness of others, or to forgive others, is easy. It's the forgiveness of self that's a bit more challenging, because some of us feel like, okay, what did I do, or what didn't I do, right? And so now we come into a place of allowing and doing a little bit more soul searching of, okay, I accept what I've done, I know what I've done, and now I can move forward in this place of looking deeper within and to forgive myself. So yes, and so now knowing that you could only do yourself harm because you're the only one that's really holding on to it. You're the one that's holding on to that, and now you have to release it and let that go. So yeah, so Harriet. So I lost my brother due to cancer in January, and his funeral was on my birthday. I walked away from the house. So I'm just reading here. Exactly, Harriet. That's the same situation that I've had with my aunt. I was so happy for her when she made her transition, because she was no longer suffering physically, and now her spirit was free to do more of what she has come here to do on this earth, on this planet, and her job. So definitely, we all have to understand that it's never our fault. We all make the conscious choice and decisions on what we do. And as I said, the forgiveness is with us. And yes, Rocky, you're absolutely right. There are no victims in this. There are no victims, only those who choose not to see and not to be aware of themselves, and for the forgiveness that they have to give themselves, the forgiveness they owe themselves, and the acceptance of moving forward and releasing what no longer serves them in that energy. So yes, definitely. And so Jeanette, so this is something that I have started. So when in referencing work, when we do the spiritual work, that there's only two things, because we always think of it as work. We always think of it as something to do with ourselves or in our lives, and it's more so about allowing and not allowing. And you have to really look at what it is that you're allowing in your life and what it is that you're not allowing for you to move forward in that. And I appreciate you sharing that you are really working hard on yourself. But you also have to look and see what it is that you're allowing and not allowing, because it's an on and off switch basically. So your on switch is what are you allowing in your life now? Your off switch is what are you not allowing, and what you are not allowing could be something that you should be allowing, but you're not aware of it. So you have to make yourself aware of what it is that you're not allowing to move forward, to allow yourself to be freer, happier, more joyous, and be in that place of acceptance and forgiveness of yourself. So yeah. Amazing. Rocky, what did you say? What's going on? We all make a conscious choice in life if we're feeling bad, and make a conscious choice of ones who can. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. So yeah, so everything has a conscious choice. Everything has energy, physical, non-physical. It all knows when to attach itself and release itself from your existence. And sometimes, ah, this example just came to me. So, weirdest thing ever happened. Um, while ago, years ago, when I really started allowing more of my spiritual work to come into flow, I used to, and sometimes still do, carry crystals in my pocket. And there was one day, I don't know what I was doing and what was going on, but one of my favorite crystals that I had in my pocket shattered. It was like broke into like 10 pieces, and I'm like, what the heck? What's going on? Why is this happening? And I didn't understand what was happening, what was going on. And so I contacted a good friend of mine who I was in alignment with in doing this work. And he said to me, he's like, yeah, that could happen because you've expanded your energy, and that the crystal couldn't hold any more energy, so it just and it shattered to expand itself. And I thought, that makes a lot of sense. So sometimes, I know, right, Mel? So sometimes when we are in a place of forgiveness and allowing the work to come through us, and sometimes we just expand and things shatter and things dismiss themselves from our lives because we are ready to grow and expand in the place of where we are and what we're doing. And so all of this expansion is happening around us. All of this acceptance is happening. All this understanding is happening. All of this forgiveness of self is happening. All of this joy is happening around us. So when all this joy is happening, all this love is happening, then we can really move into a place of love, joy, and happiness, our true state of being. So we go through the process of allowing, and we go through the process of who we are and what we're doing, everything that's taking place in our life. So we go through this process of feeling sad and down and upset and angry because of something we lost. But now we move to a place of understanding and joy and happiness only because now we understand that it's a part of our expansion. So yes, I say all of that to say that yes, grief is like down, on the low of our burden scale because we don't understand what's happening. We don't understand what we have to release. We don't understand any of it. But once we circle around and once we create this energy, we begin to understand the acceptance of what it is, of why it is released, why we have to release it, why we have to let it go, why is it gone, why has it disappeared from our lives. And now we begin to circle up into a spiral of acceptance of like, okay, I'm accepting what's happening, I'm accepting what's going on, I'm recognizing it, I'm aware of it, this is who we are, this is the place that we're going in. And now we spiral up to like, okay, I am truly in the place of awareness of why everything is happening. I'm truly in the place of awareness of why this acceptance is happening. I'm truly in a place of acceptance of what's going on, and through this awareness and acceptance, we all grow into a level of expansion and opening ourselves up to be more receptive to the energy of where we are and what's going on in our lives. So yeah, I know there was a lot of comments. I have to go back and read them real quick because that was a lot. I really appreciate that. That was a moment through that example of us expanding, because that's what it truly is. Even though we start off as grief and we go through the process of understanding and acceptance, we all expand. We all expand through the understanding of awareness of why we have to release what we need to release. So yes, the best example I've done for myself is releasing what no longer serves my highest good. If you are working hard, the path you're on is slow to... Yes, exactly. Exactly. Thank you for sharing that, Rocky. That was amazing. And the fact that we are here to take the risk of self-empowerment or spirit will help us release. It hurts more in the later. Yes, I agree 100%. Because, as I just gave that example of us spiraling up to expansion, our expansion is in a place of joy. Our expansion is in the acceptance of who we are, and that sometimes it is nice. Oh, Mel, so yeah, you have to come back and watch the rest of it. I'm sorry that your phone is on 1%. Or go and plug it in. Go and plug it in somewhere because you can't miss this. So the example that I gave before, with us spiraling up to acceptance into expansion, that is just spirit showing us that it's always not necessary to stay in a holding pattern, because grief holds us in a holding pattern. And you have to understand that that holding pattern that you're in doesn't serve any of us. It doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve the collective. So this holding pattern of grief is only the lower vibrating. It's the lower frequency in which we that doesn't serve anyone. And so when we look to understand why everything is happening for that particular reason, sometimes we just have to blindly accept what has happened. And sometimes we search for the meaning. Sometimes we search for what's going on. We search and search and search and search for the answers. And the answers are always right here. The answers are always within us. And sometimes, it comes to us, and how the answers come. The answers come to us when we are ready to receive it. And I appreciate all of you for taking your time to watch this, to share this, and to be in this place to understand the expansion in which we all are experiencing together, because not everything is going to stay the same forever. Everyone isn't going to be here forever. We are all going to be in a place of oneness and in existence through our communication, through our ties, and through knowing that we are here, we are one, and we accept the process. And that's what it is. Grief is the process to expansion. Grief is the process to understanding. Grief is the process to see everything, because when we are in a place of grief, we tend to look at things differently, with a different perspective. We tend to see things raw. We tend to see things as they are, with this level of forgiveness, with this level of grief, because we see it and we become attuned to it. And so then when we move up the scale, through accepting and understanding the answers that come, then we move to the level of expansion. I love that word today. That's like my word of the day, #expansion. So we are all in a place of losing something here and now, whether it's us shedding our skin, whether it's us losing our hair. We are all in a place of losing something somehow, some way. Whether it's our old sense of self, we are losing our old set of beliefs. We are all losing a sense of something. And through that loss of something, we gain something else that's even greater through the acceptance of the expansion that we all are. Yes, we are all infinite. We are all love. We are all enlightened. And Melissa, going back to see what you said here, sometimes loss is necessary to expand. For example, we go out certain situations or things. Exactly. Exactly. We are all in alignment. That's why we are all here as I broadcast this wisdom to you, and you guys are receiving it. Because we are all here. We are all ready to make this jump to the expansion and to the trueness of who we really are in this moment, in this day, and in the now that we create, right? Wow, that was a lot. So you guys, I want to hear from some of you guys, because I feel like I said all I can say for this particular topic, and I may want to wrap up, but I want to be sure that you guys are here, that you guys are all on the same page, that we all understand the message that was sent as I get a message from someone saying that there's more messages coming. So I really appreciate at all. Wait, scroll back. Wait, what happened? Wait, how long do you want to feel bad? Wait, did I read that one? Yes, yes. Wait, I read that one. I think I read them all. I think I got them all. I asked people, how long do you want to feel bad? Wait. Nope. Well, I have somebody in my ear telling me that I missed a message, and I thought I got them all. And I could have sworn I was moving so fast in my speech. I am practicing the act of allowing every day, but it's just sent as I am. Yes, Carrie, exactly. I am practicing. So yeah, Carrie, so actually, that's amazing. I love that. So as I talked about before, practice is also like work, too. And it's about what you allow and what you're not allowing in your life. And like I said, it's like a switch, on or off. So you have to bring your level of awareness to what it is that you are allowing here, now, today, in this moment. And so now it's here, and it's present, and it's ready for you to accept and be who you truly are in this moment. As I still continue to search, like, what message did I miss? And I don't think I missed anything, but I don't know. Me being connected, sometimes I can move a little bit fast and not see everything, but it's okay. I have to remind myself that I am, yes, exactly, we all are. Sometimes I have to remind myself of that too, that I am deserving of what it is that I create here in this moment, that I am deserving of what it is that I manifested in the ether so it can manifest physically. So yeah, I think all of us are still having to do some of that allowing and see what it is that we have to physically manifest here in this life. So, you guys, amazing session. I really appreciate you all being present and here and alive and awake and aware in this moment, and allowing me to be here for you, to do what I love to do the most. And that is to connect and commune with spirit and with you, and to give you all messages of love and joy, hope, happiness, and all the in between. So and before I go, I just want to leave you guys with this, knowing that whatever it is that you have lost, and whatever it is that you are not allowing, knowing that once you bring your level of awareness up, spiraling up to what it is that you have understand and just released, you can allow yourself to expand and to have greater experiences, because that's what it is. Expansion is about having greater experiences, allowing more of what you want, and just being in your true sense of self. Because remember, we are here to experience self unto self. Yeah. So you guys have an amazing, awesome Sunday. And if you guys don't have it already, you can pick up my book, Awaken with Gratitude, where there's a section on it about grieving and how to grow from that place. So yes, okay, yes, you're so welcome, Carrie. So you guys, visit my website, hillispew.com, to where you can purchase the book there, or go to amazon.com, and you guys can find Awaken with Gratitude on either site. And if you guys are in Chicago or going to be near Chicago, I'm planning a seminar in the next couple of weeks, so I am going to try and get that going. If not, I'm going to have a seminar here in New York City in January. You guys can go to my website for more information and details about what I'm doing, where I'm going, what I'm working on. And we can move from there. But wait, Jermaine Lewis, you just typed something. What do we have going on, Mr. Jermaine? I worked with a musical artist named Daniel Bernard Roman in 2008. His show was called One Loss Plus, and it took me but it was all about the asking the question, what is gained when something or someone is lost. So Jermaine, you have to probably go back and watch this from the beginning, because when something or someone is lost, some people feel that they lose a sense of who they are, like they were attached to the individual. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes if we feel like we lost someone or something, we have a piece of our energy attached to it. So what that means is that we have to we search for places and things to do to fill that void, to bring the energy back to us, to replace it and to make it whole, to make ourselves whole again. But the truth of it is, when we lose someone or something, it is often replaced by something even better than we could even greater imagine. And this is due to the acceptance and the understanding and the process that I spoke about earlier, which is the acceptance of why we lost someone or something, and understanding that the someone or something is in a better place. Or if it's an object per se, let's say that object was ready to release itself from us, or that it no longer served its purpose, knowing that it was something that we asked for in our reasoning for being here, and allowing us to grow in the understanding of I'm here, I'm aware, and grow in the level of awareness. And then through that level of awareness, we grow in our expansion, and we expand, and we gain greater experiences. So it's all about the level of awareness. It's about your level of belief in what you think, what happens in the losing of a person or object, and knowing that, especially if it's a person, that nothing ever is lost, it's always gained, because we can connect and have additional guidance here to help us with our level of expansion. So nothing ever is truly lost in who we are and what we do as an individual, as a person, because our soul is already attached and connected to each and every soul that is here on this planet living, and our awareness is heightened and connected because of who we are and what we do. It's connected to the source that we are inside, and that connection is made aware of who we are by us understanding that connection by going within and not without. Because once we go in to seek the connection of self, that self arises up and creates that level of expansion of who we are and what we do. So nothing ever is truly lost in that sense. It's always gained. So so if you want to think of loss, yes, we lose an object, we lose a person, but it's always gaining understanding, it's gaining the trust, it's gaining the expansion of experience that we have all asked for. Yes. Gain is all about a personal journey. So yes, exactly. And after my father. Yes, exactly. Thank you so much for sharing that, Rocky. So, Jermaine, I hope that really answered your question. But like I said, you can watch this from the beginning to get the full perspective of it, to really get it. Because when something or someone's lost, it's not always about that. It's always about how we grow and expand the experience that we all have come here to ask. So, yeah. So guys, it has been an amazing, enjoyable day, enlightening, wonderful, happy, joyous day. So once again, until next week, guys, but in the meantime, if you don't have it already, pick up my book, Waking with Gratitude, on the website, and check it out for additional news, where I will be, what I will be doing, and who I will be connecting with. Because you never know what is going on. You never know what I'm doing. So we have an amazing opportunities to continue to grow and expand. And until next Sunday, fill your life with a lot of love, joy, and appreciation for who you are. Till next week.